Okay, so the graphs of the functions f and g are shown. If we look at f, we see that it appears to be drawn as a linear function. And if we look at g, the blue, it's curved. Okay, it's not linear, it's some other kind of function, but it's curved. And we can see that since this is a linear function, the average rate of change is the same thing as the slope of this line here. So the question here is, we first see that that f has a greater average rate of change between 0 and 1. Well, let's look at that. Here's the interval from 0 to 1. All right, so in the interval from 0 to 1, where would it be steeper? Which one is steeper? Is this red line steeper than what goes on average as you curve along this blue line? So you think of yourself as riding along this blue line. It looks like the function f has a greater average rate of change as x goes from 0 to 1. And g has a greater average rate of change, so it looks like then somewhere along here it gets a little bit steeper along g than it is along here. So they're saying it's like around 1 is where that steepness sort of changes, and it gets more steep between x equals 1 and x equals 2 for the g function. The blue one is steeper. They have the same rate of change on average between which two values, where the correct answers are 0 and 1.5. So we see that the line has an average rate of change equal to the slope of the red line. To calculate the average rate of change of the blue function, the blue curve, you would take the y value here, which is same as the f value for the function f, because f and g are the same there. And you would subtract the y value here, which again for f and g are both the same, and divide by the length of the interval, which is just between 0 to 1.5. So you're just going from x equals 0 to x equals 1.5. And so that's exactly what this says. So it turns out that the slope of this line right here is exactly the same as the average rate of change of this curve between these 2 points. So my question is, could you draw 2 more curves that have the same average rate of change as f on this graph? Can you draw 2 more that have the same average rate of change as f, 2 more different from g, but having the same average rate of change as f over the interval from 0 to 1.5? Think about that.